Amazing, huh?
From congressman to felon to ex-con, Jim Traficant is finally walking free after 7 years in prison. It's a world away from his political career defined by those outlandish outbursts.
Beam me up, Mr. Speaker.
Always contentious, the Democrat never had a problem fighting Republicans or even his own party for a piece of the pork pie.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Something he reminded us of as we sat down for an exclusive interview.
Now, I had a rough time for 17 years, but I'll tell you what, Paul. I brought back over $1.7 billion over and above formula and took a district from 22% unemployment down to about 7%. And I don't apologize for it.
Traficant says his politics are partly what got him into trouble.
You're interviewing the only guy that was ever targeted by both the Democrat and Republican parties. They all wanted me to hell out.
Certainly federal prosecutors wanted him in prison. They tried him on corruption back in 1983. Traficant represented himself and won.
Will you give me some room?
Any emotions?
I'm going in for a verdict.
But in 2002, his luck ran out. Prosecutors convicted him of taking more than $100,000 in political kickbacks. He checked into prison and looked over his shoulder. What was the hardest part? Was it not being
looking for my safety? I was put, first of all, at Ellenwood Low security, and that would seem like, not a minimum risk facility. But 40 to 45% were illegal immigrants, and everybody knew that I was a congressman that wanted troops on the border. So I slept with one eye open.
Then in September, guards finally released him from the gray walls of prison back into the spotlight. His supporters cheered.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 7 long years. This is from the community.
Youngstown residents printed T-shirts and held a benefit in his honor.
Welcome home, Jumbo.
Today, the man they welcomed home seems about the same as when he left it. Before prison, he shot frequent insults at his enemies. The biggest was the Justice Department.
The FBI lied, and the Attorney General of the United States lied.
And he still believes that. He says government lies are what convicted him.
Now, these sons of bitches in the Justice Department are going to eventually pay. Because you got a guy here that don't like it. Ultimately, they pay. Ultimately, they end up paying the piper.
Who owes the Pied Piper?
Right now, the American people.
No, but who was it that did it to you? Can you say specifically?
I'm not going to say.
Traficant claims because he was innocent, he turned down a pardon.
I told them to shove the pardon up their ascot sideways, because I'd have to admit guilt.
Now that he's done his time, Traficant is living near Youngstown. He hasn't taken a job yet. He's getting by on his wife's income as a beautician. As for his future,
I think people removed from this may say, look, this is a guy that's simply trying to rehabilitate his reputation.
Number one, I'm not trying to rehabilitate anything.
Are you going to run for office again?
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. Someone in my position, quite frankly, has never come out. I think I've had the longest sentence in the history of Congress. I am the #1 target they've ever had, both parties.
Something tells me you'd like to find out, though.
Well, let me say this. If I decide to run, grab your best hold. Strap on your seatbelt. Because I got some people I want to deal with.